Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're viewing this. My name is Mike. I am the Crypto Liberal. Hey, if you have some extra time today, just a few extra moments, hit that like button. You must have some extra moments, right? You're watching me. I mean, maybe you don't have any extra moments other than watching me, but I think you might. So if you do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you know when my ugly mug's going to make another appearance and you can join me, right? So today I want to talk a little bit about the stock market. The big thing in the stock market today was the DXY has just gone nuts. So the stock market was up, crypto was up, the DXY is up. So then after that, we'll transition into a little bit of crypto, starting with a big story in crypto, and we'll also talk about some things in the charts that I've been talking about for days, and that other people are starting to catch on to. But also the one thing that I haven't seen one other person talking about, not one, and that is the exact time, in my opinion. Again, this is not financial advice. You need to do your own research and make your own decisions. But in my opinion, when nobody else is seeing what I'm seeing, and I think it's valid, and I've seen it in multiple places, that is the time to get in. That's the time when life-changing money could be yours if you have the patience and the skill to recognize it, the patience to hold true to your convictions. Life-changing money is around the corner. So we'll see. I could be wrong. This could all go against me. I say that every day, but so far it really hasn't. We're doing okay on all of our trades. Okay, so we'll talk about that. So if you appreciate that, give me a like, give me a subscribe, hit that bell notification, and let's just jump in, right? The stock market. Okay, so the stock market was up today a little bit, like 1/3% across, the NASDAQ, Dow, and S&P. But again, the big thing is this DXY. It's crazy. It made it up to 107.26 today. 107.6. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's been over 20 years since it's been this high. And I think the last high was 120. Are we headed to 120? Are we headed higher than 120? If that continues to rise like that, I don't see how crypto can keep going up. This small, minute little bounce. And if DXY keeps going crazy, I don't see how the stock market can keep rallying, bouncing at just the smallest tiny bounce, right? This isn't a relief rally. This is an anthill. It's not a rally. It's an anthill that we're climbing, and until we get some significant bounce, like a 10, 20, 25% relief rally, it's not a relief rally. It's a pimple. It's a pimple. And an otherwise downward sloping, destruction. So again, just when the future's open here in a few hours, keep an eye open on the DXY. If it keeps going up to 108, 109, be prepared for crypto and the stock market to continue to go down. I don't know when we're going to get some relief in the DXY, and frankly, I think that's the key right now, right? Is they're so correlated. The stock market, the DXY, the stock market and crypto are so correlated, and inversely, they're both correlated to the DXY, and it's been that way for 9 months, 10 months. So until that breaks, that's what we need to pay attention to. But so let's transition to crypto, and we'll start by looking at the stock market. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Start by looking at the stock market, because the big story today is Voyager Digital. It didn't even trade today, right? They halted it so that 26 cents is where it closed yesterday. And so for those of you unfamiliar with Voyager Digital, they declared bankruptcy at like midnight last night, trying to hide it in the pitch black of night. But they're a digital trading platform, digital currency trading platform, broker, where you can either buy crypto on their platform or send in crypto to their platform, and they will give you yield. So you send them Bitcoin, and they will give you interest on your Bitcoin, or stable coins, USDC, or Ethereum, whatever. They have a lot of different cryptos that they will give you yield on, and high rates they would give you. And what they did, right, and this has been the whole problem with crypto in the past 2 months, is what they did is then they took your Bitcoin that you gave Voyager and gave it to whoever, Three Arrows Capital, or Alameda, or whoever. They lent out that crypto, and who knows what those parties did with that crypto? They probably took that Bitcoin and lent it to somebody else, and that's the whole problem, right? As soon as crypto started going down, well, people started getting liquidated, and that Bitcoin that Voyager lent to Three Arrows, who lent to somebody else. Well, when that somebody else comes back to Three Arrows and says, "Hey, you know what? We're liquidating your crypto because you're over leveraged." Well, now Three Arrows can't give it back to Voyager. Voyager can't give it to the retail customer. Well, now that's the whole problem, is greed. I've been talking about that on this channel for weeks now. Greed is what's sent crypto or Bitcoin down from 69, or not 69, but it was coming down anyway, but from 27 to 17. It's what is driving all of this destruction we're seeing in the market. So Voyager is just the latest and greatest evidence of that, right? They declared bankruptcy last night. Their stock is halted. People that have their crypto on that platform are going to probably see a fraction of what they put on. You put on 10 Bitcoin on that platform, you might only get 5 back, if that. And it might be a long time before you see it. And in the meantime, what's going to happen, to Bitcoin? Is it going to go down to 10,000? And you can't sell it because it's stuck there, and even when you get it back, it's going to be a fraction of what you gave them. It's a disaster. And I used to own Voyager stock, and that's gone from 25 or whatever it is to 26 cents. So I did bad on that one, because I didn't buy in before it got to 21, and I bought in after it had come down to in single digits, way down to single digits, and I bought some, and not anticipating the greed that is destroying everybody. So that's the big story on crypto today. Not good. And I don't think we've seen the end of it, right? I mean, there's rumors out there that Alameda, which is FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried might have lent hundreds of millions of dollars to Voyager. And now Voyager's going to, in bankruptcy, is going to say, "Hey, you give us our $300 million or whatever it is," right? And do they have it? I mean, what have they been doing with their crypto? Do they have the funds to satisfy the bankruptcy court, that when Voyager comes knocking? It's a disaster. And that's why I'm leaning again toward crypto and Bitcoin not going up anytime soon, until this is fully resolved, and until the stock market fully resolves the issues that it's got going on with liquidity and other things, inflation and war in Ukraine, right? I mean, it seems like there's bad news around every corner. But again, that's the time you want a dollar cost average. And that's what we're going to have to start talking about. We're going to start talking about what you want a dollar cost average into. So let's start with Bitcoin, right? So on my channel, we've been talking about, there's 2 paths for Bitcoin right now. You got this W, right? I've drawn it on here several times in the past week or so, this W going on. And actually, this is the thing that I've seen somebody else talk about, right? On Twitter, I caught wind of this. Chris from Crypto, right, is talking about this W pattern that I've drawn on my channel. And he has that W, that line right at 21.5. And so he brought it out today. He said, if we break 21.5, he wouldn't want to be a bear. Well, that's exactly kind of what I've been talking about for days, right? And I have my line right at 22.5. Is that where he had his? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's my other resistance line. We had it right here, 21.4, right? We were talking about this yesterday. That peak of this first hump is 21.4. So pretty much in alignment with what Chris is saying. So can this W play out? I don't know. There's just so much resistance above us. Even if it does play out, we get past 21.4. Can we break the next resistance at 22.5? Can we break this red descending line, that served as such strong support back here for over a month? It's going to be strong resistance. So even if this W plays out, right now we're not going to get past 25 something whenever we get to that red line. And what does that mean, right? It means that I think my my inclination is that we're going lower. We're gonna revisit that 17 range, in my opinion. Now I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and we get to 22.5 and or what was that 26.5, 25.5? Where was that line? Maybe we come back up here and we don't get resistance, but I think we will, right? So eventually we're going to get up to this red line, and eventually we're going to get knocked back down off of it, I think, in my opinion. And again, I'm not going to get excited about Bitcoin specifically until we get above this red line. Get above it, hold it, come back down and test it as support wherever that may be, and then maybe I'll start getting excited about crypto right now, or Bitcoin again. Or the other option is we come down to this lower trend line that's been serving as support for 18 months, if not longer. And right now it's at 96, 9,700. And I'm not saying we go down there and stay down there. I think we could go down there, wick down there one day, and bounce back up a couple $1,000s, all in one day. It's possible. So two things, right? Either we get above that red line that's resistance and it acts as we get above it, hold it, and we come back down and test this support. I'll get excited about Bitcoin then. Or we wick down to that bottom or support line. And whether we wick down or we do go down there and stay down there for a week, I'll have some orders in there. So that's my game plan for Bitcoin, right? But that's not where the big money is going to be made in the near future, I think. And in the near future, I'm talking the next 6 months before the end of the year, because I think specific alts are going to outperform. Not all alts, but specific alts, the ones we've talked about on this channel. And so let's start with my favorite one, right? Cardano. Now Cardano is lagging this week compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is fine because it's been outperforming pretty much ever since I pointed it out on this channel. We've been up to like 25, 26% above where we entered it compared to Bitcoin, and we pulled back a little bit. But that's fine. We still have more. We still got better return when we in Cardano when we entered it than we would have just staying in Bitcoin. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with a little cooling off period. But let's talk about Cardano. Why am I so bullish? Well, this. Look at this. This is from the Cardano Foundation. It's their June report. They put one of these out at the end of every month. So this is from June, right? What happened in June? June was the ugliest month in crypto's history. It was a disaster. But look at this. It is almost all green. And the few red arrows on here are tiny. So, like the worst news on here is the percentage of ADA that's staked. It went down less than 1% in the worst month that crypto has seen. So the percentage of ADA staked is 71.1%. It went down less than 1% in the worst month in probably crypto's history, at least since I've been around. But look at all these other numbers. The number of wallets increased in June when everything was getting destroyed. The number of wallets went up over, almost 2%. Transactions went up over 5% in June. Now, maybe that can be explained because of from the disaster that took place, right? People ditching out, but that, excuse me, that wouldn't explain the increased wallets, right? So yeah, people were probably selling out because it was a crappy month, but wallets went up. That's a record for wallets. The most wallets in ADA's history, Cardano's history. And all of these numbers are up, right? And so there's never been a more bullish time to be in Cardano. And I've been saying that on this channel. I've had this channel for like 9 weeks now. And I've been saying for 9 weeks that by the end of the year, a year from now, and 5 years from now, Cardano will outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin. And it is already. It is already. And so, let's just start. Let's look at I attempt to prove my hypothesis, right? And I prove it by every week we buy $100 into ADA, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. And I put it on my my Twitter channel, or my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at crypto_liberal. I show you where we're buying each of those cryptos. $100 of each for 9 weeks being put it in. So we put in $900, and they're all down against the US dollar. But look at that. ADA is already outperforming Bitcoin, and we're not even to the end of the year. We haven't gotten the Vassal hard fork launched yet, which comes in less than a month now, which will greatly increase the number of projects, DeFi projects that launch on ADA or on Cardano. So ADA is so bullish right now, and it's already outperforming Bitcoin without the launch of Vassal. So wait till Vassal launches, and it's going to really take off. But look at Ethereum. Look at Ethereum. Ever since I brought it to the channel, right? I told you when it was the exact moment it was turning bullish. Look at Ethereum is killing Bitcoin. It's catching up. So it's only $26 behind where, we put $900 into each of these. And now, Ethereum used to be like $100 behind Bitcoin. And look, it's only $26 behind right now. So it is playing out exactly as I said it would. Exactly as I said it would. By the end of the year, Ethereum and ADA will outperform Bitcoin. And it's lining up perfectly. So let's look at, I'm sorry, one of these days I'll get on this channel and I will not choke. Man. So let's look at ADA. Again, ADA is lagging behind this week, but that's okay because we've been so bullish on it. And again, I look at the weekly chart. So I'm not trading this for, a week's long trade or a month long trade. This is a long-term trade for me. And you know what? I told you that ADA was so bullish against Bitcoin. It was my most bullish chart in crypto right here at the bottom of this candle when one ADA was 0.000019 Bitcoin. And we had this giant green candle, a huge green candle that put us up like 25% versus Bitcoin, higher actually. And so I brought it to you like 4 weeks ago, I got on the channel and said, hey, I'm moving a majority of my Bitcoin into ADA at this exact moment. And I didn't tell you, I waited to bring it to the channel till the exact moment, the exact opportune moment it was ready to break out. And what happened? We broke out. We broke out bigly, right? So again, over 25% it was up at one point. So if you had moved one Bitcoin with me on the night I brought it to this channel and moved it into Cardano, you'd have 1.25 Bitcoin. Or 2 Bitcoin, you would have turned into 2.5 Bitcoin without trading on leverage, without putting new money in. And yes, it's pulling back a little bit this week. No big deal. It's not giving back anywhere near the amount that we've gained against Bitcoin. And again, I'm not waiting for this, a measly 20% return, which was probably where we're at right now. I'm waiting until it gets up to here, at the top of this descending channel. Look at this beautiful descending channel, descending wedge that we're in, descending wedge. And, I'm waiting for it to get back to the top of that descending wedge, which is at about 0.00006 Bitcoin. Right? That means if you had that night, the night I brought it to this channel, the exact opportune moment to jump in, if you had taken one Bitcoin and moved it into Cardano, you'd have 3 Bitcoin if it gets to that level. And we will talk about on this channel, there are various resistance levels before we get there. A couple blue lines here, and maybe we get to one of those blue lines and get rejected. And maybe when we get to one of those blue lines, I will pull some of that Cardano and put it back into Bitcoin, depending on what Bitcoin is doing and whether we get to those resistance levels or support levels. I will talk about each of those moves as I do them on this channel. Follow me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you know when I'm making these moves. And, if you decide to make them with me, the more the merrier, right? But again, this is not financial advice. You need to do your own due diligence and make your own financial decisions based on your own financial situation. But so, right, we're killing it on ADA. We're killing it on ADA. And a slight little pullback, not worried about it. Not worried about it because it's a long-term play. And I said that from day one. I'm not looking to get out of it after a week. Maybe I should have had a 5% more of Bitcoin, but trading it out it's a loser's game, in my opinion. So how about Ethereum? Now, again, Ethereum is killing it, right? I just love these charts because they're working out so perfectly. So perfectly. So look at this. I brought this to the channel like 3-4 weeks ago at the very bottom of this trend line, this red trend line. Acted as support. I said we're not going to go below. We wicked below it, right? But we closed every week since then above it. And look at that. Look how perfectly it's played out. I brought it to you at the exact bottom, back in the week of June 6th. And since then, we've wicked down to that support line a couple times and bounced off of it perfectly. And right now, I brought it to you when one Ethereum was 0.052 Bitcoin. And right now we're at 0.057 Bitcoin. It's like a 10% return. So if you had moved in with me 1 Bitcoin to Ethereum, you'd have 1.1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, 2.2 Bitcoin. I can't do math above that. But that's without trading and leverage and risking your whole portfolio by getting liquidated like 3 Arrows Capital. And that's without putting new money in. So you can stack sats without jeopardizing your portfolio by trading and leverage. You can stack sats without even putting new money in if you have, a position already, just by moving in and out of Bitcoin at the appropriate times. And if you appreciate that I brought it to you at the exact moment, I mean, I couldn't have timed it better. That Ethereum call that I brought to this channel, I could not have timed it better. Was a perfect timing. So if you appreciate that, give me a like, give me a subscribe, hit that bell notification. So Ethereum, right? Again, I'm not waiting for a 10% return. 10% return is nice, but I'm waiting for it to, if you look at this is an ascending triangle that goes back 18 months. This red line served as perfect support. Look at it, and it's serving perfectly as support right now. I mean, I drew this line before it wicked down to there, and it held perfectly. It's beautiful. Excuse me. But this upper blue line is the resistance of this ascending triangle. So I'm waiting for Ethereum to come back up and test this upper blue line at 0.076 Bitcoin. And if it does, you know what that is? That's like almost a 50% return. A 50% return. 1 Bitcoin turns into 1.5 Bitcoin. 2 Bitcoin turns into 3. I don't do math beyond that. Right? Without trading on leverage, without putting new money in. So if you appreciate that I brought it to you the exact moment, if you appreciate the targets that we're setting, give me a like, give me a subscribe. And again, we'll talk about that Ethereum trade as it moves up, as it hopefully continues to move up. Again, I could be wrong. This could all go against me tomorrow. ADA trade could go against me tomorrow. Ethereum trade could go against me tomorrow, and I'd be completely wrong. And that's why I tell you, don't follow me blindly, right? You got to make your own decisions. But so far they're working out. That's 2 for 2, right? 2 for 2 perfect trades. I have to emphasize that because the third one isn't working out so well right now. But it's only been like 3 days. So I'm not worried about it yet. And not even close to worried about it yet. So third one is Polkadot. I just went into this Sunday evening, right? So I'm not worried about it yet. But we're losing ground slightly since when I went in. So I told you last week I was going to wait till the close of the week last week and see if this weekly candle closed above this former resistance, now turned support. And look at that. I mean, I brought it to your attention before we wicked down to it, but look at that candle last week, the week of June 27th, we wicked down to that support perfectly. I mean, I can't draw it any better. That line was on there before we wicked down to it. We wicked down to it, on it perfectly, acted as support, bounced off. So right now it's a perfect support. And again, this is a descending wedge, kind of looks like that ADA chart. And again, we're having a red week this week, so we're a little bit down. I brought it to the channel and said I was going in, and that was about, excuse me, 0.00035 Bitcoin. And, right now we're below that. We're at 0.00033 Bitcoin, or almost 34 Bitcoin. So we're losing a little bit. But as long as we don't violate that support line, that red support line, I'm not worried about it. And in fact, I think DOT is gonna maintain that support line. And now that support line is descending, so we could we could continue to lose ground, but we wouldn't be losing ground necessarily against Bitcoin. I guess we would be losing ground against Bitcoin because that's a Bitcoin chart. But I'm not worried about it because it will eventually bounce off that support as long as we hold it. And so I'm not concerned, is what I'm trying to say. Now, if we break back into this pattern, into the middle of this wedge, then maybe we'll have a discussion, because this wedge, the apex is way down here. I don't know when it actually would reach its apex. So I mean, there's a lot of room where it could move down, and that's why I was open and honest when I said I'm going in on Sunday. That was my smallest position, the least bullish I am out of the three that we've discussed so far. But right. How's it going so far? 2 for 3. The ones we're up on, we're up very nice. The one we're down on, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I can handle a little bit, as long as we're getting very nice. So if you appreciate that, give me a like, give me a subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we will continue to monitor the alt season, because nobody else is. Nobody else in crypto Twitter is. Nobody else in crypto YouTube is. They haven't found it yet. That is the perfect time to take advantage, to get your ducks in a row, to put your positions in. That's what I'm doing. And hey, it's working out so far, right? If people have stayed in Bitcoin, they're losing to my channel. And I know there are people out there that do it because they've been calling me crazy for moving from Bitcoin into those alts. But I'm beating them. I'm beating them in the trades. And there's so many Bitcoin maximalists out there right now. They're fighting amongst each other, and they're fighting amongst each other because they're starting to realize that maybe there are other things that are better investable projects right now. And Cardano is one, Ethereum is another. I'm still maintaining that Polkadot will be a third. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. I hope you appreciate this video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll join you again tomorrow, and we'll continue to kill it, hopefully. So that's it. I love you very much. Thanks for watching. My name is Mike. I am the Crypto Liberal. Chat more tomorrow. Good night.